A significant weather event is set to impact eastern New South Wales this week. We will see a prolonged spell of rainfall over the next several days, alongside some damaging winds and some hazardous coastal conditions. I'm Angus Hines here at the Bureau of Meteorology, talking you through the severe weather warnings and information for New South Wales over the coming days. Let's jump right onto the map and see what is happening. Through Sunday afternoon, we'll see the development and strengthening of both wind and rain for eastern parts of New South Wales. Initially on Sunday, the heaviest falls will be about the Hunter, Sydney and the Illawarra. But as we progress through the first few days of next week, we will see the focus shift a little bit further to the northwards on Monday, and watch this band of rain and strong winds between Newcastle and Port Macquarie really get set up on Monday, and then it just stays put through the Hunter and the mid-north coast. It will be days of persistent rainfall here. Some heavy falls, some moderate falls. It will come and go, but it will be very, very wet over the next several days for that northern part of the New South Wales coastline. That is where we have issued our severe weather warning. This is how it looks across the whole state, but of course we can zoom in, get a little bit more information than that. The warning runs from northern parts of the Hunter around about Newcastle up to Kempsey in the mid-north coast. Of course that includes Port Macquarie, Forster, Taree is in there as well. It does push inland up into parts of the slopes and mountains, not quite as far inland as Scone or Tamworth, but other areas of elevation are in this warning area. If you're in the yellow region, anticipate rainfall for the next several days. 24-hour rainfall totals could be anywhere between 80 and 130 millimetres. Isolated spots likely to get more than that, but it's the multiple days of rain in a row which will be the issue, as opposed to the short, sharp bursts which we sometimes see in this part of the country. Alongside the persistent wet weather, we will see damaging wind gusts up to 90 kilometres an hour. The most likely spots for those winds will be right along the coast or up in the elevated inland. Those are the two spots where the winds are expected to be most significant. How much rain are we talking over the whole week? Well, the numbers are really going to build slowly but surely between about Monday and Thursday. We'll just drop the names off so we can see a little bit clearer, and it is certainly the Hunter and the mid-north coast where those strongest rainfall totals are expected, well and truly exceeding the top of the scale, certainly over 150 millimetres. Some places that could be closer to 250 or 300 by the time it's all said and done. Even though the totals won't be as large, it will still be a somewhat wet week for Sydney, the Illawarra, as well as northern parts of the mid-north coast and up into the northern rivers, and of course much of the slopes and mountains through northern parts of the state as well. Let's keep on moving ahead now. We will see what we're looking at in terms of flood watches. With all this rain coming in, we are anticipating those river levels really to start to spike in the next few days. Flood watches currently in place also for the Hunter, about and north of Newcastle, up towards Port Macquarie, and for some of those inland river catchment areas too. Do note that these flood watches will likely be extended, upgraded and changed in the coming days as we start to monitor how much rain is falling across each individual catchment. So do stay up to date if you live on or near waterways in northern New South Wales. Other impacts of the expected rainfall beyond just the riverine flooding include flash flooding. That could mean inundation of homes, properties and businesses for those areas seeing persistent rainfall. Dangerous driving conditions as well as closed roads. Remember, if it's flooded, forget it. Turn around and find another way. And the combination of persistent rain and strong winds could damage crops, trees, properties and power lines. Finally, I wanted to look at the ocean conditions, because alongside the rain and the wind, we're getting very large waves across the east coast of New South Wales. In particular, it's that same area here, north of Sydney, where we anticipate the strongest and largest waves, and that is where we've got a coastal hazard warning for damaging surf. We could see very powerful waves along the stretch of coastline, may cause some damage or erosion, as well as makes things very, very dangerous for coastal activities like swimming, fishing or catching the boat. That warning goes from Sydney up to Seal Rocks, which is north of Newcastle, although either side of the warning, the ocean conditions will be fairly hazardous as well. So this is a big event and it will last several days, so do stay up to date with the latest severe weather information, which is always available on the Bureau's website. Thanks for watching, have a safe weekend.